This is Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. It's only 20 to 8. We're just watching these markets early on, and we'll come back to it once we've had a run through. So I'm here with the guys in the trading room at the moment and having a quick flick through the charts, and then we'll come back. Okay, so what we're going to be looking to do here, it's a bit of a cheeky trade here this morning because I'm not seeing too much out there. We're going to see if the euro can come up. It's got a bit of positive momentum behind it here this morning. So, but it has some obstacles as well. There's a daily pivot up at around about 58. May want to come up to that. If I can get just a little bit of a pullback to around about 45, then I'll hit it. We'll have a stop down at 35. So nice, it's just small. I've missed the opportunity potentially now anyway. Oh no, it's going. So looks like we're going to forget that, miss that. But you never know. Might still do a pullback. So I'll press pause while we're waiting. Okay, we're down at 45, right, so just hit it with one unit, so I'm long with one, okay, and second unit in. And this could be over very quickly, because like I said, it's a bit speculative here this morning. I need to put the stop in down at 35, and I'm just going to sort those out off screen. Let's get these stops up. There's that one, and there's that one. Here's the two entries, both at 123.45, 123.45. So let's get the stops in, 123. And the reason I put it at 35 and not at the absolute lows, it's one of those trades that I don't think I need to have it at the absolute lows. I've got my lower bands here at 38. So I've just picked off 35 and just saying, well, if it gets that far down, I don't want to be in it. So it's quite simple, really. So it's not, I don't think I need to have the stop even that low. So anyway, we shall see how it gets on. I think it's a potential. It's got the potential with the momentum behind it, but it's choppy overall. So we'll have to see whether it can work through that or not. Now, interestingly, if the euro does roll over, I'll happily look to get on the short side here today on the euro. So if it doesn't come up and have that little push up towards its daily pivot, then I'll happily switch tack at some point, and if it does roll over. So there could be a couple of trades on today if that's the case. I'll press pause now. Okay, so just back here, and as we can see, the euro's backing off. My stop's at 35. We're currently at 39, so looking like that's probably not going to happen. And that certainly I was certainly pushing it to see if it could get that little break up this morning. But mind you, it wasn't too far away from the target. Actually, it got up to 52, 53 area, and the target was only 58. But as I've said, it's coming down for the stops, or I'll say for the stops, it's coming down potentially to get stopped out. If this thing does break down here this morning, and I see my momentum will switch, which it's not going to just yet, no. It's not going to switch just yet, but if it does, then I will quite happily look to short it, but I'm going to probably have to wait a little bit. So, but looking like I'm about to get stopped. It's only small. It's only a 10 pip stop. I'm minus 67 pounds on each entry at the moment, with only a pip or so to go. So it's only tiny, but there could be another trade on this morning. Okay, I have just been stopped on the euro as it's rolling over here. I will try and get on the short side. I can't just immediately short it. I just need to make sure I've got some momentum lined up. That could happen. What time are we at? Oh, it's only 8:39. It could be a bit of a problem that it comes down and I can't get into it. But we'll see. There's enough pips to the downside. Looking down to around about 123.10 area. It just see if it can let me in at some point. So yeah, no, that could be all right. But I'm probably going to have to wait until 9 o'clock before I can do anything there. But for now, what have I done? Here, let's take a quick screenshot so you can see of the account. Apologies, it's just the way it is at the moment because I'm in these other swing trades. I don't want all those being shown. So I'm having to just take screenshots of the individual trades at the moment rather than bringing the whole account over. There's the two entries. So we had the both entries at 45, stopped out, or stops at 35. By the time you take into consideration the costs, trading costs, then it brings it down. So a net 86 and 87 pounds, about 170 pounds loss on that. So just have to see. It's funny actually. On these Friday videos, sometimes if I have a run of winning Fridays, then I get people saying, Charlie, do you ever lose, or is this some sort of scam because you never seem to lose? And you're like, just go and look at the history. I have plenty of losing Fridays. Last Friday I lost, and then when you go and have a few losing Fridays, people are like, Charlie, you're a terrible trader. Well, what can you do? So you just can't please everybody. So anyway, we'll see how we get on. Hopefully, it's not a losing Friday today. But I've got to get this video all wrapped up by sort of lunchtime anyway, because I'm heading off this afternoon. So I won't be around all day to trade. So I've only got this morning to get anything done. So hopefully we get a short on this euro, and then hopefully it can run down if that's what's going to happen. So we shall see. I'll press pause for now. Back up. Okay, so the way that we're having this nice reversal, looking like I could well be getting a short in. Hopefully, if I can get the entry, obviously. Oh, there it goes. So I've got to wait until the end of this bar. I want to see the close, and then I still have to then get an entry. But if we can get there, then happy days. So what is that? Scow's not right. Fixed scout. No. Okay. Right. We'll see if they can. Anyway. So we've got about 5 minutes to go, and then I should be able to get an entry or two in for a run, hopefully down to that 123.10 area. But the nice thing with this this morning's one going for that daily pivot up there at 58, I was going to be all out at that pivot because there was nothing else for me to say, oh yeah, it could run or it's worthwhile running. This one though, on the downside, there is more scope if it wants to, so I could actually leave a unit on this one. So let's just go back down here, because this is really starting to shift a little bit, and why my scowl is not auto. Oops. Oh, I've done that fixed scowl. Stupid boy. Right, there we go. So looking like I'm going to get a short off here. So I'll press pause for now while I'm deliberating and waiting. Okay, so we're just coming into the end of the hour here, so the bars will move across in just a few seconds. The euro's run away with me for me a little bit, but I'm going to have to chase it a little bit then, aren't I? So, okay, there we go. So we've got the new bars in. We've gone to negative. You probably can't quite see that, but my momentum's just gone a bit negative. But if I can just raise that up a little bit, maybe you can see it. So if we can get just a little blip of a bounce, then I'll put one unit in. If we can get a little bit more of a bounce than that, then I'll get a second unit in. So looking at around about 28 as the first level to get a unit in, about 28. So finger is on the trigger for 123.28, and if it comes up a little bit more than that, then I'll get another unit in. If it just comes down, it's going to be just a shame, and there's going to be I could miss out, of course. But let's just see if I can get this little blip. So we've had this nice move down. I'm just seeing if we can get a blip up into this zone. There's a reason why. And so once I've had a big bar like this, then I look for a pullback towards my outer bands. And so, let's see if we can actually get that. And I'll either get one or two units off there. Stop-wise, we're putting the stop up at... It's going to have to be about 46, so it's going to be just under a 20 pip stop. I could put a 20, actually I could just put it up at 48. Is that going to be too much? Might be, but yeah, 46 is probably about right. Let's see if I can get an entry first though. So I might have to press pause while I'm waiting here. Okay, so we're nearly there now. Fingers on the trigger. See if we can see about 28 on the chart. There it is. Right, okay. So I've just got filled at 27.9 there. And so we've hit 28 in the chart. If we come up to my upper bands here on the 5-minute chart, I'll get the second unit in there. So I've got the first unit in at literally on 28. Second unit is I say very close. Got the upper bands here. Actually, I don't think I even need to be worrying about that, actually. No, I'm just going to get the second unit in, folks. So, yep, there we go. 27.8. No, looking at it, it's done enough of a retrace. If it comes up a little bit more, so be it. But I don't want to be too finicky for the sake of a pip or two. So both units are now in short, and I'm going to put a stop at 48. So let's bring both of those up. Okay, let's get rid of the ticket off screen now. Okay, so let's put the stops in. So 123.48, 123.48. Okay, as far as targets are concerned, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the targets. Now, this could take. I was just talking to the guys in the trading room here. Unfortunately, this could be one of those ones that takes the day. It could, you know, faff around here this morning. It's had this reversal, and then we could get some chop and then breaks later. So I'm sort of mapping that out in my mind that is a possibility. But the first target will be down at 123.10 area. Yep, 123.10. And the second target, 123. Well, we'll put it in at just above 123. So that'll be nice enough pips down to those targets, more than pay for the prior loss, but and a bit of profit on the top. So yeah, so those are the two levels. So in fact, what I shall do is well, certainly on one of them, let's get the target in at 123.10. No, before I've said about 123 because obviously it's a round number. But let's go out and have another look here. Yeah, 123 would be an appropriate level looking at this. That's a 4-hour chart here, or just above 123.01. That would be an appropriate level here based on this being a day trade. So let's get the other one over. The other ticket, 123.01. So we've got two levels there, just in case at the 120 it gets to this level and decides to put in a big bounce in there. So that's if it gets down to there. But it could just chop around here now for a while. So I shall press pause for the time being. Just back here, and the euro is coming down for us. It's actually nearly close to that first target at 10. First target, we've put those limit orders in. Let's bring it up, and you know what will happen? I'll bring up that limit order. Now this will disappear if it gets down to 10. So if it gets down there, this will disappear, obviously. So we've got about a pip to go here for the euro to get to that first target, which is relation down to these lows down here. It's not the absolute spike. It's just in that cluster there, around about one. It's not quite the spike low. Is at about 0.7, and then I've got the other target down there a bit lower, obviously. So. And now, like I've said, I've done the record. I've turned the recording on. What happens? Just as it got close there, it's decided to bounce. It always knows when I press record again. Anyway, I'll press pause for now then. Okay, just back here, and it's on 10.3 as we can see here. 10.4, there it goes. It's just hit 10, and therefore it's just it's hit that first target. So you've seen it happen live for a change on the limit order. So we've hit the first target. And that banked a whopping £117. So if it can get down to the second target, then so if I actually bring up a screenshot of all the trades there today. So these were the two losers that I had this morning. That little long, and then we managed to switch, and obviously this is the 117 I've just cashed out at. It's just banked at 123.10, and this one's still open at the moment for maybe a little bit more. So all that'll happen to do, like I said, it'll pay for the losses and put a little bit of a profit on top. That's all it's going to be, unfortunately, today. But you know, there's been overall, you know, it's been a bit like that over the last couple of weeks over Easter. Certainly this week, trading personally, it felt like, okay, I'll have a winning trade, then a losing trade, then a winning trade, and a losing trade. It's been a bit like that. However, we did have a nice trade from Wednesday on the dollar yen, which we got into down in this zone, and we've banked some profits on that today, and so the actual week overall is doing rather nicely. But for a while this week was a bit. I was laughing with the guys in the trading room here because I'd have a winning trade and then give it back on a losing trade, this sort of thing. It was like that type of stuff. But as it's turned out, no, the week overall has been okay. So still waiting on this euro dollar. Now, as we go back out to the 4-hour chart, so we're looking at that 123 zone as like 123.01 is the target area. Of course I could move the target. Of course I could say, shall I just hold with it and all of that? But I am net short on the euro anyway. So I don't feel like I have to on this trade. I'm quite happy just to have this trade done and cashed out sort of thing if it gets down to the 123 zone. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to be taking a break soon, heading off to the gym. Probably don't really need this deal ticket anymore over here. I'll just move that off screen. So we'll be coming back and seeing what's happened to the market a bit later. Don't need to move the stop on the remainder, I don't think, at the moment. No, I could trail it down a bit, I guess, but no, I'm quite happy. Just leave it for the time being. Maybe move it down to 45, but you know, yeah, 45 would be all right, but that's all. Anyway, we'll see where this is at when I get back. Okay, so just back from the gym, and the euro did get down to that second target down there at 123.01. I can see it's been down to 122.93 area. Yeah, as it turns out, I know, you know, we've gleaned a profit from this morning. Let's take a screenshot here of the trades here. So let's just do this. Oh, it's not a lot. What we got here is these are the first two trades from this morning that took the 170 whatever that £73 loss. We made 100, and then these are the two exits, the one at 01 and the one at 10. We've made about a net 120 quid or so this morning. It'll pay for my petrol heading down to London later. So just not big enough size and not enough pips today from that. But at the end of this, I've been not trading too much size on intraday trades over this last couple of weeks, generally speaking, just because the way the markets have tended to be a little bit whipsawy. But anyway, a winning trade for the end of the week. Actually turns out to be not a bad week. I think that dollar yen's held up quite well, which was a trade, like I said, we took in the trading room here earlier in the week. We've already banked profits on it. Can't lose now anyway. So that's it for me this week. See you next week.